The sun dropped low across the painted desert, dragging gold and copper light across the broken earth. Luke Callahan, known around the territories as the Lone Rancher, rode with the kind of weariness that lived deep in a man's bones. He wasn't running from anything anymore, he had simply stopped hoping for someplace worth stopping, but the West had a strange way of surprising men who believed they'd seen every kind of hurt the world had to offer. His horse trembled as he neared Dead Man Ridge. Smoke lingered in the air, but no campfire burned. Something else, something heavy, wounded, lived in the silence. That's when he saw her. A girl, no, a young woman built tall and strong like the old stories said Apache women once were, giants of courage, guardians of their people. She was alone, gripping a spear taller than Luke's horse, eyes full of storm clouds that hadn't rained in months. Luke reached for the gun on his hip, not out of fear but habit, but she lifted her hand with calm command. "Do not," she said. "I am not your enemy." Her voice held strength, but it held sorrow too, so raw Luke felt it hit him like a hard wind. He eased his hand away. "Who are you?" "Nazca," she answered. "Daughter of the great Thunderbird clan. Last of my family." There was no pride in her tone, only a quiet grief. Luke swallowed. "What happened here?" She gestured to the land behind her, charred ground. Fallen tents. A well that had collapsed. The bones of a once living home. My people were pushed out, she whispered. Some starved. Some fled. Some didn't make it to dawn. "And you?" Luke asked softly, her jaw tightened. "I stayed. Because someone must." She stepped forward, fearless, meeting him eye to eye despite her towering height. "I know who you are, Lone Rancher. I know you once grew fields where men said nothing could live. I know you brought water to dead soil. I know you breathed life into land no one believed in." Luke's heart thudded painfully. That part of his past was not one he liked remembering. "You came here for a reason," Nazca continued. "This land, my land, can live again. But I cannot do it alone." Then she spoke the words that froze him where he sat. "Plant your seed in me." She touched her chest. "My heart. My land. My people's memory. Plant hope here. Teach me how to make the earth live again. Show me how to fight for something that can grow." Luke's throat closed. For years he had ridden from town to town, believing he had nothing left to offer the world, but in Nazca's eyes, he saw possibility. He saw fire. He saw someone who still believed life could return to the broken places, and something inside him, something buried, finally stirred. He dismounted, not because he knew how the journey would end, but because for the first time in a long time, he wanted to try. Days bled into weeks, and the desert began to shift in small, stubborn ways. Almost as if responding to the strange partnership growing between the giant Apache girl and the guarded, quiet rancher who'd almost forgotten how to smile. Their work began with the simplest, and hardest, task, digging. They dug out the old well, sand burning their skin, nails splitting, hands bleeding as the desert punished every hour of effort. When Luke faltered, Nazca was there, lifting twice the weight he could, muttering ancient words under her breath like prayers carried on the wind. When she stumbled from exhaustion, Luke steadied her shoulders, reminding her of the same thing she had told him the day they met. Hope grows slow, but it grows. On the 10th day, water finally spilled up through the earth like a miracle. Nazca fell to her knees, tears streaking down her cheeks. Luke watched silently, feeling something warm crack open inside his chest, something he'd long believed was buried under grief and dust. They planted seeds next, corn, beans, squash, the three sisters her ancestors had grown. Luke taught her to read the soil, to watch the shadows, to listen for the quiet language of the land. Nazca taught him something too, how to stand tall even when the world tried to make you small, how to carry pain with honor, how to fight without losing your soul. Every night, they sat beside the small fire, the stars stretching endlessly above them. Luke told her stories of ranching, of loss he rarely shared with anyone. Nazca shared stories of her people, warriors, mothers, children, stories she feared would vanish if she didn't speak them out loud. One evening, when winds howled and sand swept the valley, Nazca turned to him, eyes fierce but aching. "You know why I asked you to plant your seed in me?" Luke nodded slowly. Because you want life to return. She shook her head softly. I want strength to return. Courage. A future my children, my people's children, can be proud of. And you know how to build what the world breaks. Her voice trembled. I did not ask you out of weakness. I asked because I saw strength in you that you no longer see. Luke's breath hitched. No one had spoken to him like that in years. He took her hand, rough, strong, trembling only slightly. Nazcha, the seed you asked me to plant, hope, it already took root. In both of us. Her lips parted in a soft, stunned silence. The desert wind quieted, like even the earth was listening. Weeks later, the field sprouted with green, the land sang with life again. Travelers began stopping, guided by rumor. The dead valley lives again. A giant Apache girl and a lone rancher brought it back. Nazcha smiled more now. Luke did too. They had rebuilt something far greater than soil or water. They rebuilt themselves, and by the time summer reached its height, there was no doubt left between them. Not all seeds are planted in the earth, some are planted in the heart, and those grow the strongest.